This video will briefly introduce you to OBS Studio, which is software for streaming and recording audio and video. We're going to use it to record locally, but it can also be used to stream live to sites like Twitch and YouTube. So the very first thing when you open up OBS Studio, it will ask you if you want to run the auto configuration wizard. So click yes. If you've already canceled that and want to run it, you can get that under the Tools menu and go Auto Configuration Wizard. So everybody run that, and we're going to select Optimize just for recording. I will not be streaming. Then click Next. Since how we've got displays of 1920 by 1080, we'll leave it set as 1920 by 1080 and leave it selected as either 60 or 30, but prefer 60 when possible. Clicking to Next, and it'll just give you an overview. Click Apply Settings. So after we've run that, the first thing we want to do is make sure that our audio is set up correct. At the bottom of the screen, there's a mixer section. From this we can see what audio is coming in. So by default we have two inputs, one for your desktop audio, that is the audio you hear coming from the computer, and a mic audio. Without anything playing audio, you should see the indicator next to your mic working. So if you say something, you'll see that mic indicator go up and down more. So let's check to see if our desktop audio is coming in properly. So to do this, you can play sound from any program, but the easiest thing is probably just to go to YouTube, play a random video, come back to OBS, and you'll see it indicating under the mixer. So the next thing before we can record something is we need to add a video source. In our case, it's going to be a display capture. So under the sources down at the bottom of OBS, click the plus button and select display capture. Just leave the default name as display capture and click OK. Now if you have more than one screen, you can select it. If you have more than one display, you can select which one you actually want to record, which makes things easier, but we're treating it here as if we only have one. So now you should see within that window OBS itself, because we're recording the same screen that it is being displayed on. And then click OK. And within that window we can see what is being recorded, and again we're recording the same screen that's being displayed on. So now we're ready to make our first test video. You can just press the Start Recording button. Let's go back and play our YouTube video. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Come back to OBS and stop your recording. Again, that button's down in the bottom right portion of OBS. By default, it will record to your videos folder. So if you go in there, it names it by the date. So year, month, day, and then after that is hour, minute, second. So let's just play this with VLC. Let's go back and play our YouTube video. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Come back to OBS and stop your recording. So that was the video that we just recorded. So if your desktop audio is overpowering what's coming from your mic. You can use these sliders underneath of the sources to change that. So let me just turn this down and do this again. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. And do this again. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. So now you can see that the audio, your voice doesn't get overpowered by the music anymore. But there's a good chance that we want to be able to change the levels or clean up noise from our mic after the fact. But the way we've got it set up right now won't allow us to do that because both of our audio sources are mixed into a single stereo track. We can set up OBS to record from different tracks by going into Settings down in the bottom right corner, and then select the output on the left. Change output mode from simple to advanced, and you'll notice we now get 4 tabs here instead of just the single one we had before. So under recording, we can select different numbers of tracks. We're going to pick 3. Even though we have 2 sources, the reason for that is I'm going to record a mixture of the desktop and the microphone to the first track, and then I'm going to record the desktop audio to the second track and just the microphone to the third track. Okay. By default, your recording format would have been set to FLV, but you get a warning when we set more than one track telling us that certain formats such as FLV don't support multiple tracks per recording. So we could have a look at MP4, but notice you get another warning when you pick MP4 that if the recording gets cut off, then you lose all your work. So let's pick MKV instead. Click Apply here. Change to the Audio tab, and we'll name the tracks that we want. So the first one's going to be Mixed. The second one will be Desktop, and the third one will be Mic. Again, Apply, and we can click OK and close that. There's one more step to setting up our audio. Click on the gear next to one of the audio sources. Select Advanced Audio Properties. So now to the right, you'll notice some checks telling us which tracks our sources should be put into. So remember, we mentioned number 1 is going to be a mixture of both, so I'll leave both of those checked. The second one is desktop, so I'll leave that checked, but uncheck it for mic for number 2. And then number 3, I'll only select the mic. And the other ones, since how we're not recording those tracks, it isn't going to make a difference. Okay, so let's do another test and see how that works. Test 1, 2, 3. 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 Okay, let's go back and play that one with VLC again. Test 1, 2, 3. So notice right away we don't see much of a difference. Test 1, 2, 3. But we can come up in our audio and select track. Now we only hear the music from it. Oh, let's go back. So we're only hearing music because we selected the desktop track. If I select the mic track, 2, 3, then we
Test
only
1,
hear
2,
what's
3.
coming from the microphone. Test 1, 2, 3. So, if you just play the video by default, it'll play a mixture. But let's quickly look at what happens if we drop that video into Audacity now. If we try to drop it into Audacity, it tells us to select the streams to import. Let's get them all. You could pick only one or two of them if you wanted. But after import, we can see 2, 3, test 1, 2, 3, test 1, 2, 3. So we could use Audacity to clean up our mic noise, and then later when we get into our video editing software, we could use that edited audio to put back into our video. So one last thing, you may want to start and stop your recordings from outside of OBS so that the beginning and endings of your recordings don't contain shots of OBS itself. So the easiest way to do this is to set up your hotkeys. So go under Settings. On the left of your Settings window, there's a hotkey. So let's go into Start Recording, and then press the button that you, or key combination that you want to use to start recording. I'm going to pick Scroll Lock because we don't really use that for anything else anyways. And then I'm going to select Shift Control Lock to stop my recording. Apply and OK. Let's come over here. I'll first start what I want to record. Press Scroll Lock. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. And Shift Control Lock. And here's the video we just did, and you'll see it starts right away into the music clip. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. And no more shot of OBS at the start and end. The other way to do it is in your notification area in the bottom right hand corner of Windows. If you click the little up arrow, you'll notice OBS Studio. You can right click on that and start and stop recording from there. So if I went start recording, I would start. Test 1, 2, 3. And then I can use it to stop. Test 1, 2, 3. And then I can use it. Okay. So that covers everything you'll need in class for now, and we will cover more advanced settings and such in OBS later on.